There's no titling I could think of that would be short and sweet and grab the general idea for all of this. So this will be the title. Everyone in Golden Wind is not okay. And that's okay. I'm not sure how else I'd like to form this thought, so I'll go about it like this. I love the fact that Bruno's group of him, Giorno, Mista, Trish, Narancia, Abbacchio, and Fugo is a group of people that have been wronged by the world. We have had squads formed in the past due to an overarching fate tied to the whole franchise, mainly Dio, but when you try to look at what makes Bruno's group for what it is, it's a group made of people that have been done wrong by man's hand. And what makes it so great to me is that while of course we're going to have our overall goal in Giorno becoming the leader of Passione, but we also have everyone else fulfilling themselves for what has initially been plaguing them at a time. Some characters here had descended into tough times, but part 5 goes to show you that you can pull yourself back from the depths when you have the right support going for you. And I'd like to cover that here. Before we do, a small percentage of the people that watch my videos are subscribed, so if you do frequent my content, consider subscribing. It helps a lot and keeps you updated. Abbacchio is our first example here, but his case is one more individual to him. As it wasn't the fact that the world was solely doing him wrong, it was more so that he had joined in being what's wrong with the world. He attempted to be a good cop in a corrupt system. In the end, he had given up on what he had stood for and joined what he sought out to destroy. His reason? Well, they're just gonna get out of jail anyways. Oh well, there's a bunch of people like him, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Now, I'm not gonna put it on Abbacchio to think more considerable than that, as he's more so of a soldier, or well, instrument here than a voice of reason and power. The problem here is his lack of perspective and being unable to see past his world. By doing what he did, there was no way that this was going to be a victimless crime. That perspective changed once his partner had died, saving him. This tragic, preventable incident caused Abbacchio to spiral. By losing his way, he lost his purpose. He found himself in a dark hole and at the bottom of a bottle, at least in the anime. What got him back on his feet and what gives him inner peace in his life is Bruno's guiding light. The reason? Well, in the manga, it says he achieves peace when following orders from a grand and absolute entity. The world is a rapidly changing demon that continuously adapts itself into new problems. Bruno is what keeps Abbacchio steady throughout all of it. The world can be crashing down, and Bruno would be there to guide him to the truth. This support resulted in Abbacchio making better decisions for himself, but as Bruno was someone that needed guidance too, they were both in need of a push in the right place. Giorno was that momentum. Abbacchio was reluctant to follow a new light, but I think what got him the most is the fact that Giorno reminds him too much of his energetic partner. The combination of a new experience and his haunting memories is a lot to take in one go. Still, he did it. And with that help, he continued to make some of the best and most helpful decisions he could ever make in his life. He fell from grace once, but he was able to pick himself back up with others' help at the end of it all. The next people to cover are Narancia and Trish. Why? Well, the loss of what they knew to be home snowballed into what was most likely the darkest time in their life. Let's go about Narancia first. After losing his mom to an eye disease, he lost his rock. His father was neglectful, and after the passing of his mom, he got even worse. Narancia was in search of some sort of love to keep him together. Sooner or later, he found a group of friends. A wrong group of friends, but he didn't know that yet. This sense of community and friendship became the only light in his life and all that he wanted to know. Friendship is the key to life here. That's what he believed. But the oncoming events burned that idea down to cinders. Oh, hey Narancia, you should do your hair up like mine, you look so cool. Next, accused of something he didn't do because he looked a lot like the guy who did it. Oh, after getting arrested, he got beat. After getting beat, he got eye disease. Oh, he gets out. Hey Narancia, thanks for taking the rap for that. Wait, is that an eye disease? Hey, didn't your mom die to one? Everyone, don't get near Narancia. He's contagious. Amazing, because he was vulnerable at a moment. All that he knew and all that he tried to know was destroyed. Narancia gave up on friendship, gave up on life. There was nowhere for him to go. He even believed that he was going to die in the same way as his mom. This situation seemed like the worst fate had to offer. It wasn't until the combination of Fugo and Bruno saving him that he regained a drive to believe in. Now, Bruno didn't want Narancia to follow him. The gangster life is a terrible one. He'd be better off attending school, though Narancia didn't listen to him and instead met with Pulpo and passed his test. He would do all that he could for Bruno because of how admirable he is as a person. In that time of working for Bruno, Narancia has been working with his sense of direction and individuality in life. He's not the smartest of the group. He's not the calmest either. He's an uncontrollable fire of passion that drives himself forward past any difficulty. This individuality didn't truly begin to shine until he met someone just like him, Trish. We'll finish up this Narancia point, but it requires the world of Trish to complete it. Now on Trish. Trish had also lost her mom, but before her mom passed, her mom looked into finding her father. That set off a chain reaction of events to where Trish just isn't safe anymore. Then we have all of the events of Team Bruno dodging the Squadron members, all to deliver Trish to what they believed to be a safe place with the boss, Diavolo. That was not a safe place. The whole reason why Diavolo wanted to see Trish wasn't to develop a father and daughter relationship, it was to get rid of her himself. Bruno had tried to ease her as she was uneasy about meeting this father. The father who got her into what was most likely her worst experiences in living. And guess what? He's terrible. What is Trish supposed to look to here? Now, what's remarkable here is the resolve of Trish. After coming off of that awful situation, she had already snapped back, determined as ever to find her origins. Narancia initially had been worried about how the group would break the news to Trish. How are you going to break it to Trish that her father nearly killed her? He was so worried about this because he knows how it feels to be betrayed by someone you thought you'd be close to but weren't. News like that sent Narancia spiraling, and it makes sense because that was his world. He had based everything around it. Though here, Trish is in control of her world. She has been for a while now. She goes on to remain in control of her life and be her driving force. A force strong enough to defeat Notorious B.I.G. in the arc after. But back onto Narancia. The decision to pick between the group or Fugo is a massive contributor to what makes Narancia who he is. Not because he picked Bruno's group, but because both decisions are Narancia no matter what. The idea of quitting the gangster life is something that we know that Narancia most likely thought of before. The reason why is because he thinks about it in his final hours, but the choice to stop fell behind after aligning with Trish. He was going to see this mission to the end. When they believed that the mission was finally over, Narancia was ecstatic. He was finally going to go back to school. He's going to eat his favorite pizza. He's going to live for himself and fulfill himself to the fullest. Well, that's what he planned to do. But don't get that misconstrued. Just because he didn't do it all doesn't mean that he didn't do it. Some may not see it. He may have not even seen it, but he did great. As for Trish, she did the most she could anytime it was possible. She too can overcome the fate she inherited from Diavolo. She had defined herself back in the Notorious B.I.G. fight, and she hadn't backed down since. Now, I don't want to make this character specific. If I make examples, it's because they're there. Pushing forward is what I believe to be an enormous pillar of what makes Golden Wind so good. Resolve can bring you such a long way and support you entirely. And if you're ever lost, the right person can help you find your way. Giorno Giovanna. To see his goals come to fruition, he brings it to himself to see his mission all the way through. He may not always have the right answers. I'd expect that. He's a 15-year-old with a dream larger than you can imagine. Though, in times like those, he shakes with the feeling of helplessness, as this feeling reminds him of when he was a child. But it's the friends around him that help support him in his time of need. The power is in yourself. You've always been capable of it, but you just might not know it. Sometimes you need the right people around you. Sometimes you need a new light to help you guide your way. That's the relationship between Bruno's group and Golden Wind. Anyone is capable of losing themselves. It's always possible to be let down or betrayed by someone. Misfortune is a common enemy, and that's a scary thought. But you can't let that enemy be what stops your progression forward. You've always been redeemable. You can always pick yourself out of that hole when you have the right people. It feels like it's inescapable. Maybe it's the environment around you. But your path to the truth is always out there. You may just need a new light to help guide you. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're interested in similar content of this, I suggest my Narancia and Bruno video. They're pretty similar in this. I think that y'all would like it if you like this. I want to do more. I just need y'all support in doing so. Something as simple as leaving a like or commenting. It goes a long way. Also, as a side note, I did want to mention something specific to Miss Mista and Fugo, as I think that Mista found solace in a group over that loner lifestyle that he had initially lived in, and Fugo's individuality with sticking to himself. But I didn't want to stray too far away from the original point that I was gunning for, you know. But yeah, more to come. I just have to be the one to do it, you know. Hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace out and Godspeed.